We're going to buy American. We're going to buy American. So trade rules. Buy American has been the law since 1933. Also caps and won't even go into effect until 2025. And by the way, that law was written and the benefit expires in 2025. New electric grids that are able to weather major storms and not prevent those fires. You charge the same amount, and you got about, I don't know, 10% fewer Snickers in it. Look, you're also getting rid of junk fees. Those hidden fees, at the end of your bill, they're there without your knowledge.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I hope everyone had an absolutely wonderful day. I've got a big interview coming up with the creator of Sweet Baby Ink Detected, as well as WoW developer Mark Kern, live at 1 Eastern. But I wanted to start the day talking a little bit about the State of the Union and just how insulting it was, how insane it was, how absurd it was, the crazy lies that Joe Biden told, the heckling that he received from Marjorie Taylor Greene, basically heckled into admitting about what happened with illegals. Also had a father of a son that was lost during the botched Afghanistan withdrawal, arrested. It's insane just how bad this is. I mean, just how bad, the arresting a Gold Star dad for heckling you, probably not great, but let's take a look. Let's actually start with the Gold Star dad. So during the event, during the State of the Union, the father of a U.S. Marine who did not survive the final U.S. military withdrawal from Afghanistan, a botched, huge mess headed up by Joe Biden's administration, but I'm sure that it was very inclusive, was arrested after he berated President Joe Biden during the State of the Union address about the incident. Now, the person here is a Gold Star dad. This means you lost somebody in combat or in military. He stood up during Biden's address and repeatedly shouted, "Abbey Gate," referring to the entrance to Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul, Afghanistan, where somebody took out 13 U.S. service members and at least 170 Afghan citizens. His son was Marine Lance Corporal Kareem Nikoy. He did not survive that. Biden, of course, has been criticized for his handling of the withdrawal, and security confronted the dad, who was on the upper tier of the House chambers, and demanded he stop, but he continued shouting. Good for him. He was escorted out of the House galleries, which I'm actually like, look, that much okay, I can understand why you might do that, but then arresting him is insane. The optics of this, the fact that there are multiple headlines now that say you had a Gold Star dad arrested for, reacting like any good father would. It's insane to me. Then the other moment, which was unbelievable, Joe Biden basically got trolled into addressing probably one of the biggest Republican talking points against him by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, of course, he screwed up Laken Riley's name, among other things. I believe I lost count at something like 75 slurred words, but he made a big oopsie. The State of the Union went down exactly as I expected, as written by Brodigan. Joe Biden was a defensive prick, and the media did their best to carry water for him. One notable moment was when Joe Biden surprised everyone by attempting to say the name Laken Riley. She's a college student who lost their life at the hands of an illegal invader who is in this country because of the border crisis that Biden has created. I say attempting because, unsurprisingly, Biden destroyed the name. He had no plans of saying the name or acknowledging the border policies have a body count. He thought he owned Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene by saying what he thought was the name. Instead, he Biden'd it. Of course, Lincoln Riley is a USC football coach. And what's interesting is, so after the speech and after Biden reminded everyone why he's unfit to be president, Democrats reminded America why immigration is the number one issue and most Americans want Donald Trump's policies back. Now, one thing I'll say that was interesting is you have Biden admitting, okay, that it was an illegal, which was a big oopsie for the Democrats. Big oopsie. He should have said undocumented or unhoused or some whatever woke term that they wanted him to use. He didn't. He said an illegal, which is bad for Democrats. But he basically got bullied into it. Marjorie Taylor Greene was, screaming at him. So then he called her an illegal. So of course, the Democrats are just mad because, Nancy Pelosi ran out now and said, well, he should have said undocumented. He should have said undocumented. That's what they were mad about. Not that this woman lost her life. You have Nancy Vodka Knockers Pelosi going on TV after the event, and whining that Joe Biden said illegal. Pelosi slams Joe Biden for referring to Laken Riley's, the person who ended Laken Riley's life. He should have said undocumented. What do you mean undocumented? It's an illegal alien invader. There's really no questioning that. This is not even up for debate. Biden's Democrat peers were dropping X left and lefter, showcasing where Democrat priorities are, not with the American people, not the American people who did not survive. And, what's interesting is you see, disappointing that POTUS would use such a dehumanizing right-wing rhetoric to speak about immigrants tonight. No human being is illegal. Of course, they got to talking about no human being is illegal. We must create a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. There is a pathway to citizenship, of course. And these aren't dreamers. They are invaders, largely military-aged men, not women and children like the media wants you to think. Congressman Chuy Garcia, as a proud immigrant, I'm extremely disappointed to hear President Biden use the word illegal. Well, you are here illegally. There are laws in this country, and the very first thing you do when you enter this country is break the law. Now, the interesting thing is this State of the Union manages to basically alienate and piss everyone off. I think if you're watching this as an American who's, dealing with inflation, dealing with the cost of gas, dealing with expensive groceries, shrinkflation, which of course he made time to talk about his Oreo cookies. If you're worried about those things, the first 20 minutes of the State of the Union was about giving more money to Ukraine and giving more money to Israel. Do you think that Joe or Jill Sixpack are interested in hearing about that? I know I'm not. Okay. And I admit that I'm in a fortunate position in my life. And I still know it still chaps me. It still irritates me beyond no limit that all of my money is going overseas. If I pay nearly 50% income tax, by the way, and that's going over to Ukraine for a proxy war with Russia and Israel, who doesn't need it. Oh, and also to Palestine, too, of course. Not the homeless here in America, not the people who are dealing with addiction, not the unhoused Americans. No. Of course, Ilhan Omar, the one that married her brother or cousin or something, I can't ever remember. Let me be clear, no human being is illegal. Biden can't be bothered to even remember the name. Democrats are more concerned that feelings might be hurt. This is who progressives are in 2024. They've always been this way. They're just being more open about it. Now, what's interesting is, just how many whoppers Joe Biden also said. I mean, even PolitiFact, okay? There's several things. Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's the majority. No, I don't think any Republicans are calling for the end of Social Security. That's not really the case. 30 million workers had to sign non-compete agreements for the jobs they take. 30 million. So a cashier at a burger place cannot walk across town and take the same job another burger place. What? That's just made up. You see PolitiFact saying this has significant errors. Like, what? What? I stand here tonight as we've created I stand here tonight after we've created, with the help of many people in this room, 12 million new jobs. Bro, yeah, that's all Americans taking second jobs to afford groceries. Biden is correct about 12 million jobs created, but his comparison with previous presidents is half true. In raw numbers, Biden did oversee greater job growth than any post-World War II president, first or second term. However, this achievement comes with many asterisks. Population growth skews the calculation. Obviously, people taking second jobs. He also said nearly 25% of the entire national debt took over 200 years to accumulate. Also, incorrect. In the last years, my administration cut the deficit by $1.7 trillion. Again, not really. Inflation has fallen every month for the last 6 months, while take-home pay has gone up. The first part is accurate. Year-over-year inflation peaked around 9% in June and has since fallen to a little higher than 6%. Whether take-home pay has gone up is more complicated. Shocking. And by the way, I don't know what it was basically angry old man yells at cloud and coughs. That's essentially what I saw when I watched it. It's insane. He also said, I visited the devastating aftermath, record floods, droughts, storms, wildfires from Arizona to New Mexico. His claim about fires isn't supported by federal data. I mean, like, what? I mean, I'm not saying that no president has ever embellished a thing or two when they're doing their State of the Union. That's pretty normal. But I don't think I think he basically managed to piss everyone off. And that's basically the state of everybody right now. Now, if Trump would just stop talking about how proud of the jab he is, he could get out in front of this guy a little more. He just tweeted something on Truth Social. He's getting absolutely dragged over it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to vote in November. No, we cannot have 4 more years of Joe Biden. I just can't with this guy. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you come to my live stream, which is going on at noon.